Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
How do you feel about the No Kings protest happening tomorrow? My feelings don't matter. It's a constitutional right to protest. I'm glad people like you still exist because this is the correct answer. I'm glad people like you exist because politeness is in short supply. Nothing wrong with spending an afternoon outside, socializing, getting some exercise, and exercising your First Amendment rights. 22nd Amendment needs to be dusted off and walked around for a while. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president. This one is designed to stop kings. Just keep your heads, everyone, bring some Gatorade, water, and stay safe. And wear sunblock. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. Quote. Remember one thing: if you do, shut the fuck up. Only lawyers talk to cops. Miranda rights state anything you say can be used against you in court. Not for your defense. I plead the fifth. I am invoking my right to remain silent and I want to speak to my attorney. Edit. As other have said, you shouldn't plead the fifth. But you do have to state that you are actively invoking your remain silent and the only person you talk to is your lawyer. Exactly. Also, leave your phone at home. I feel great about it. It's one of the reasons I served TBH. I also served, and I'll be out there in Philly tomorrow. Marine vet here. I'll be in Louisville. Absolutely pissed he deployed my active duty brothers and sisters to LA. This tyrant needs to be stopped. It will be my first protest ever. No kings. Yup, mine too. I'm a little nervous but a hell of a lot more excited. Nothing to be nervous about. Protests and rallies are nothing like the riots they show you on TV. The average demographic of the last No Kings protest I went to was little old ladies. Removed. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country. That is the Secretary of Homeland Security. Holy shit, that's bad. As an Angelino, it's terrifying. They want to make an example of us. Please, rise up, resist. United we stand, divided we fall. She wants to remove our democratically elected officials despite not being elected herself. No Kings is a patriotic, bipartisan stance. If you don't think so, you should trade your red hat for a red coat. My local one is filled with traditional Republican old dudes standing side by side with and being cordial to progressive old ladies. Lol. I went to the hands-off protests a few weeks back and met so many older veterans that had their benefits revoked or were just plain against fascism. Somebody finally nailed the messaging on this one. It's a hard one to spin or argue against unless you're an authoritarian toady. Even Trump himself couldn't argue with the messaging when questioned how he feels about it. Well done TBH lol. I'm kind of thinking about going. I've never been to a protest though, so it makes me kind of nervous. It's actually incredible. The protests are not violent. I will bet you cash that your local one is just a lot of ordinary people standing outside together, wanting the best for other people. I mean, that's what left politics are. We think everyone should have good health care and nice schools and good roads and enough food and feel safe at night. And libraries. And we think you should have that stuff even if you are poor. Or not white, or a woman, or not Christian, because we think you're a person who is valuable just as you are. I always tell people to bring stuff that'll make it more fun, less intimidating. Like, do you play an instrument? Bring it. Let's all sing This Land Is Your Land together. Bubble wand. Bring it. Can you face paint? Bring your stuff. The more inviting it is, the less a chance of outside agitators being able to stir up trouble. Plus it's a great way to get to know like-minded members of your community. Couple of things to think about. Bring water, and drink water, lots of it. Eat before you go. Wear layers, long trousers and a long sleeve top. It can get hot, so be prepared with short sleeves underneath. You're not there to fight, you're there to protest and support your point of view. You won't chance the minds of any counter-protesters in the moment. There probably won't be any problems, but if there are, run away and help other people if you can. Stay on your feet. It's a lot easier to be kettled if you're sat down. Have fun, sing songs, make noise, make friends. Also, if you have a cross-shoulder water bottle holder, it's easier than getting it out of a backpack. And it keeps your hands freer to carry a sign. Keep in mind there may be limits on bringing wooden pickets for a sign. Paper towel holders can work for smaller signs, or wrapping paper holders for larger ones. Wear comfy shoes. If you're going to be walking through hostile territory, don't wear anything that states something controversial. And you can keep your sign in a folding tote bag till you're at the rally, protest. Don't engage with counter-protesters. I wear glasses and normally wear contacts outside of my home. But one heard tear gas is worse with contacts. I don't anticipate tear gas, but I'm wearing my glasses to be on the safe side. Don't be nervous, Trump wants us to be afraid, he wants us to stay home. We have to do something. You will be okay, you will be happy you went. Just move away from people you think are being too rowdy. Do not give in, do not be afraid. I will be there with you, maybe not in the same town, but you will not be alone. You will be surrounded by people who care about you. I'll be out there at my local one. I'm not a big believer that protests really move the needle much. However, I don't know what else I can do aside from trying to make my voice heard at this point. I'm going to be just one more body in the crowd. My presence at home does nothing. Yup, I've been to many protests where it ultimately felt a little disheartening to know that nothing concrete actually changed as a result of the protest. But the act of protesting itself as a form of fighting back can lead to bigger movements, and most importantly shows yourself and the world that you're willing to stand up for your values. It's absolutely worth it to go, even if what you're actually doing is just standing around in a crowd for a few hours then going home. The entire time I was growing up, before serving in the military, my father, a Korean War vet, would make fun of military parades in Russia or China or wherever. He would say, countries that need military parades are pathetic. We don't need military parades because we don't need to show off. That's for dickless authoritarians. On the occasion of Father's Day weekend, I would love to still have my father alive, but I'm glad he didn't have to see Trump's America. He would be disgusted. Your dad was absolutely right. Military parades are the epitome of tiny dick energy. Wish it wasn't necessary. So do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Okay. Some of the comments in this thread are making me tear up, but this has me crying on the bus home. Elbows up from a Canadian who has your back. As I read earlier this week, when a current king is championing democracy and an elected, I use this loosely, is a tyrant, things have really changed since 1776. In a time where we all probably feel like butter spread over too much toast, this is the kind of hope we need. All it takes for evil to triumph is for good men to stand by and do nothing. But it is. And anyone who sits back and says, we don't need to do this, or thinks they aren't systematically dismantling the Constitution, is delusional or okay with it happening. Fuck yes, all Americans should be there. America doesn't need any fucking kings. I rather like Stephen King, and think he belongs in the US. Burger King used to be good. Looking forward to spending time with a few thousand friends in Philadelphia. Neat, we'll be in Philly too. See you there, pal. I'll be the guy in the Phillies ball cap. Can't miss me. My wife and I are old, but we are going to protest in deep red Engar tomorrow. Stand together and resist! Exclamation mark. Good. Godspeed all you patriots. They have the right, they're exercising that right. I'm on their side. As a Brit, I wholeheartedly agree. Be safe, Americans. As a Canadian, I also agree with these protests. Be safe, Americans. I'll be working, but we're gonna all wear black and play Rage Against the Machine all day. Hell yeah, brother. Rochester, New York checking in. I just finished painting our signs. Would have been nice if we had this energy 8 months ago. As someone who knocked on doors for the Harris Walls campaign, I can't tell you how frustrating it was being told by someone close to me who has never been to a protest, campaign event, etc. Before this, that I should go to the protest because now is the time to fight. No, the time to fight was last summer, when so many correctly predicted exactly what a second Trump term would look like. Better late than never, I suppose, but it's not like any of this is surprising. Protesters are unifying around the world in support of the No Kings protest. Toronto is holding a No Tyrants protest. Other countries and cities around the world are also protesting in solidarity. A No Kings protest would have a different meaning here, wouldn't it? To borrow from the Beatles, I feel fine. The United States was created because the people were tired of being ruled by a selfish, cruel, power-hungry king. 249 years later, we face that same kind of tyranny. Time to overhaul the government. Looking forward to it. Now ask me how I feel about stupid questions being posted here for karma farming. Every day it's like, this atrocity is happening, how do you feel about it? Like, how the hell do you think people feel? Awareness is good and we should talk about it, but it feels cheap to see these posts every single day. It's a bot that is content farming for social media. This will never be better. I'm attending, with my entire family. I'm glad our country is finally taking to the streets on undeniable scales. I do hope people play it smart, because this government and its enforcement arms are very clearly itching for any excuse kill people in cold blood. The AG of South Carolina actually got on TV and said if you protest and get violent, we will notify your families where they can come pick up your bodies. They are telling on themselves. They want a reason to kill innocent civilians who stand against Trump. Protesting is a fundamental right, but destroying public property and blaming it on police or National Guard is not okay. If they break out in violence, they've lost any point they intended to make. Violence at the protests kicked off when ICE started tear-gassing a crowd. Despite that, the vast majority of protesters remained peaceful. If one violent individual invalidates thousands of protesters, you've got a heckler's veto in action. A riot is the language of the unheard. MLK Jr. There are videos of them shooting people with rubber bullets for doing absolutely nothing. Or not letting people leave an area so that they're out past some sort of curfew so they have a reason to arrest them. I'm not saying there weren't people attacking police and police vehicles with bricks and rocks or setting vehicles on fire. But pointing out one and not the other is extremely hypocritical. Every right that we enjoy in the United States has come from shed blood. 100% of the violence in LA is the result of ICE escalating the situation. It was completely peaceful until the goon squad got violent.